Hey folks, welcome to your next virtual mat class. Hope you're enjoying them. Remember, as always, any questions, concerns, you know where to find me. Drop me an email or send me a message. It's probably the simplest way, pretty hard to get on the phone. Roll yourself out if you haven't already done so. We are going to use our rollers for a little bit on and off in this class today. Couple of things. Be mindful of your space, be careful of the things that are around you in your home. Don't want you to injure yourself or hurt yourself. Listen to your body. If there's something that doesn't feel right for your body, just skip it, leave it out. It will literally be minutes before we move on to the next exercise, so feel free to skip it and leave it out, or make a little modification. So if you know that we're doing a set of hundreds and you want to put your feet down, things like that. But just listen to your body, it sends you messages for a reason. We are going to go into goalposts on our rollers today, so if you haven't already rolled yourself out, just pause the video and roll yourself out as much as you like. If you have rolled yourself out, you're going to join me lying on your roller. So we're going to go hips at one end, head at the other end. So wriggle yourself into a position as you're going down. A little check of the alignment of your legs. So you want your second toes in line with your knees and your knees in line with your hip bones. You're going to go right down on your roller, wriggle yourself in, make sure that your head, neck and shoulder alignment is good. So you should have your gaze sort of straight to the ceiling. It'll give a little gap between your chin and your chest. Hanging goalpost to begin with, so just drop your arms out towards the side. If goalpost isn't right for you, then I want you to bring your hands and rest them on your ribs. Otherwise, in goalpost, if that's comfortable for you, and just some nice big deep breaths. So we're just going to set the breath pattern for the class. If you can, I want you to breathe in through your nose, and I want you to breathe out through your mouth. Big deep breaths, breathing in through your nose, and out through your mouth. As you take those nice big deep breaths, let your arms sink down to the floor, get that nice little opening through the front of your chest. You should feel your pecs stretching, those muscles across the front of your chest. If they feel really tight, then find some time throughout your week to put yourself in this position again and let them stretch out. If they're too tight, they will pull your shoulders forwards. So we want to get that nice lengthening through the front of our pecs. We're going to do 2 more breath patterns here. Big deep breath in. Allow your ribs to expand, and then exhale. 1 more breath pattern. Big deep breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Take your hands and place them on your ribs if they're not already there. Actually, 1 hand on your ribs and 1 hand on your belly, I lied. So 1 hand on your belly, 1 hand on your rib cage. We're going to do some diaphragmatic breathing. That's going to warm up our abdominal wall. So we're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe in, we're going to feel the belly lifting up underneath our hands, and then we're going to breathe out. We're going to feel that belly gently dropping back down. So you're going to breathe in. As you breathe in, you're going to feel your belly lift. And as you breathe out, you're going to feel that belly dropping. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose. And out through your mouth. 2 more breath patterns like that. Big deep breath in. Allow that belly to expand. Exhale to let the air out. 1 more breath pattern for me. Big deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Okay, we're going to bring our arms down by our side. If you prefer to be on the mat, feel free to go onto the mat. Otherwise, we're going to do some dead bugs on our rollers. Arms by your side, a little bit wider. The wider the arms, the more stability and the more help you're going to get from the arms. They could be directly by your side, they can be wider, you can choose. Find your stability and gently engage your core muscles. So you should feel your belly button just gently pull them back towards your spine. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to float 1 leg up to tabletop. And then you're going to lower that leg down. Now this movement is coming from your hip joint, changing sides. Inhale first, exhale to lift the leg, and then lower it down. So you're going to alternate sides in your own time. As you float that leg up, you're trying not to let the rest of your body move. As you float your leg up, you've got an exhale breath out. There is no tension in your head, neck and shoulders. Your roller is perfectly still. You're still breathing those big deep breaths you practiced in the beginning. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to do one more on each side. Inhale, exhale to float the leg, and then lower. Last one for me. Float the leg up and lower it down. Pause here. Gently roll to one side. Slide your roller out from underneath you. Lie flat down on your mat and push your roller out to the side. Enjoy that lovely flat feeling once you're down on the mat. Still have your knees bent for me and your feet hip width distance apart. I want you to take one hand and I want you to place your thumb at the bottom of your rib cage and your little finger on your pelvic bone or thereabouts. So basically, thumb is on the bottom of your ribs, little finger on your pelvic bone. Just one hand, okay? That is the distance between your bottom rib and your pelvis, what we call your rib to hip distance. With your opposite arm, I want you to float it to the ceiling and take it behind you just as far as you can without that rib to hip distance changing size. So the gap should not get any bigger. And then bring your arm back down. So we're really going to focus today on keeping our rib to hip connection, front ribs nice and still, back ribs still. So just going to do a few for me. Float the arm to the ceiling, take it back, but keep that rib to hip connection. And then bring it all the way down. Okay. We're going to do two more. Focusing on ribs staying still, there's no movement underneath that hand, that connection stays the same. Working with the range that you can maintain that connection, you've got one to go. Inhaling first, exhale, that exhale breath helps you maintain that connection. And then bring your arm down. Bring both arms down by your side. Focus on that connection that you just discovered, keep that connection going. Take a breath in, breathe out to float both arms to the ceiling. Take them back as far as you can without losing your rib to hip connection, and then bring your arms all the way down. As soon as you feel your front ribs starting to lift and that gap get bigger, then that's as far back as your arms are going. You should also be able to keep your back ribs on the mat. If the back ribs are moving, then the front ribs are likely to be moving as well. So it's your stomach muscles, your abdominal muscles that hold that rib to hip connection. The breath is designed to help you hold that. So as you take your arms backwards, you're doing an exhale breath. That helps you maintain your rib to hip connection. We're going to do one more each. Arms are long and straight, try not to bend through those elbows. Breathing in first, exhale, float the arms to the ceiling, take them back, maintain your rib to hip connection, and then bring them all the way down. You're going to leave your arms down by your side, you're going to have your palms down. Gently going to engage your arms into the floor. You're going to stand firmly in your feet. We're going to do some pelvic tilts and then we're going to do some bridges. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to gently tip your pelvis backwards and let your spine open and flatten into your mat. Then you're going to roll your pelvis forwards and let your back arch. Gentle roll backwards. You feel the spine flatten and open into the mat. Roll the pelvis forwards and the back arches. As you're going backwards and forwards, knees are still. Try not to let them wobble around. As you're going backwards and forwards, your breath is helping you to move. Exhale to roll back. Inhale to roll forwards. One more in each direction. Gentle roll back, allow that spine to open and flatten into the mat. Roll the pelvis forwards, let the back arch, and just rest in neutral. We're going to go into the bridge. Standing firmly in your feet, you've got even weight distribution right across your feet. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to roll the pelvis backwards. You're going to lift your hips slowly up off of the mat. You're coming up to about the base of your shoulder blades. You're going to pause there. You're going to breathe in. And you're going to breathe out to come down. You're going to articulate through each vertebrae in your back one at a time. And then you're going to let your pelvis roll through neutral at the bottom. So inhale first. Gentle tilt back. Spine flattens. And come up into that nice long bridge and open up through your hips. Take a breath in there. Breathe out to slowly peel down. Each vertebrae in your spine comes down one at a time. And then your pelvis rolls through neutral at the bottom. We're going to do two more and then we're going to add on a bit. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Up you go into your bridge and open up through your hips. Pause at the top, take a breath in and then slowly down. Each vertebrae comes down one at a time. Pelvis rolls through neutral at the bottom. Last one. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Up You come into your bridge, hold there, take a breath in, and then breathe out to come down. Nice long breath. Okay, now float your toes up off of the mat. So your heels are on the mat but your toes are lifted. You're going to bridge with your toes up. It's going to make your glutes work harder. Take a breath in, breathe out to tip the pelvis backwards. Come up into that nice long bridge position. Pause there, take a breath in, and then slowly come down, breathe out all the way. Allow that pelvis to roll through neutral. We're going to do 3 like this. Inhale first, tip the pelvis back, come up into your bridge, open up through those hips, pause there, breath in, and then breathe out to come all the way down. And we've got 1 to go. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, toes are still elevated if you can. Come up into your bridge, hold there, breath in, and then breathe out to come all the way down. And then float your toes down to the floor. Grab your roller, slide it underneath, in between your feet and your hips. So underneath your knees, alright? Okay, lift your hips and bring the roller underneath your tailbone. So you've got the roller resting, your butt resting on the roller. Okay, knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor for the moment. Left foot, take your left foot, slide your toe in behind your right ankle and drop your left knee out to the side, but don't let your hips leave the roller. So you should still be resting on the roller. You've got 1 leg out to the side. You should feel a lovely stretch through your hip. If it's too much, just bring your leg back up. Okay, if you're feeling any pins and needles, I want you to just pull yourself out of this. Hold here for another breath. And then untangle your leg. Place your foot back on the floor. Slide your right foot underneath and tuck it behind your left ankle and drop your right leg out to the side. So you got that nice stretch through your hips. You're going to hang there and breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, 1 more breath pattern. Actually 2 more breath patterns. Breathe. 1 more breath. Bring your right foot back so your foot is flat to the floor. Lift your hips up. Take hold of your roller with 1 hand and slide it out the way, and then come down out of the bridge position. Stretch your legs out long and straight. You should feel lovely opening through the front of your hips. It should feel quite nice. You should feel length being created. Okay, knees are bent, feet are hip width distance apart again for me. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Take your hands, interlace your hands behind your head. Your ring finger and your little finger on the base of your skull. Your elbows are nice and wide. You feel like you can touch your elbows on the other side of the room. We're going to do some chest lifts. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to lift your head, neck and shoulders. You're going to take your gaze down to the middle of your thighs, and then you're going to lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, breath first. Exhale to lift. Gaze to the middle of those thighs, and then lower yourself all the way down. As you're coming up, you'll note how your spine flattens and imprints into the mat. The elbows stay nice and wide, and then lower yourself all the way down. Your gaze is important here, folks. Where your eyes go, your body will go. Nice, wide elbows. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale first. Exhale, lift head, neck and shoulders. Gaze to the middle of those thighs, and then lower yourself all the way down. You've got 1 to go. Breathing in first. Breathe out to come up. Lower yourself all the way down. Okay, we're going to do 4 more. You've got some choices here. You can keep your feet firmly on the floor, or you can bring them up to tabletop. Tabletop will be more difficult. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Take a breath in. Breathe out to lift head, neck and shoulders up. Gaze to the middle of those thighs, and then lower yourself all the way down. Inhale first. Exhale to lift. Keep those elbows nice and wide, and lower yourself all the way down. You've got 2 to go. Rest if you want. Inhale first. Exhale, up you come, and lower all the way down. Last one. Inhale first. Breathe out to come up. Lower down, pause there, lower 1 leg down to rest, lower your other leg down to rest. Stretch your legs out nice and long and straight, take your arms over the top of your head, little full body stretch for a second, nice big deep breaths, breathing in, breathing out. 1 more breath, then float your arms to the ceiling and bring them all the way down by your side. We're going to roll through a series of hundreds. You've got some choices. You can have your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. You can have your head down and pump your arms here. I still want you to have a nice strong arm pump. So the first position for the legs, you could choose is legs on the floor. Second position is legs in tabletop. Third position is long legs on a diagonal. The lower the legs, the more challenging the exercise. You have to be able to keep your spine imprinted. Head resting on the mat, elevated if you can. You could bring one hand behind your head whilst you're doing your hundreds if you like. It's entirely up to you. If you need to have a little rest, you're going to have a little rest. Let's set you up. Bring your arms down by your side and turn your palms to the ceiling for me. Little engagement of those tummy muscles. Take a breath in and breathe out to float one leg to 90 degrees and then hold it there. Take another breath in, exhale to lift the second leg to join it. Inhale that, exhale, lift head, neck and shoulders up for me. Arms broad and wide, palms up to the ceiling. You're going to stretch your legs out long if you want, otherwise keep them in tabletop. You're going to inhale to pump up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, pump down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more sets. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins if you can. Head comes down on the mat. Little roll around of your spine. Massage your lower back a little bit. Let's turn your head from side to side. That's going to relieve any tension. Little roll the other way. Roll your spine in both directions for me. Lovely. Stretch your legs out long and straight. Take your arms over the top of your head if you can. One more full body stretch here. Imagine I'm pulling your toes, getting that lovely length through the front of your legs. You take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to float your arms to the ceiling. You're going to bring them all the way down and rest them down by your side. You're going to roll onto your side for me. You're going to cradle your head in on your arm. You're going to have your knees bent. Your feet are tucked back in line with your hips for me today. Head's resting on your arm. Arm could be straight if you prefer. Hand's going to start on your hip. Push your hip away and create that little space within your waistline. You're going to keep that little gap for me. Hand's going to stay on your hip if you can. You can bring it on the floor if you prefer. It's actually entirely up to you. Sometimes the hand on the hip helps you give you that feedback as to whether your hip has dropped back down. Starting with clams. Feet stay touching. Lift the top knee up off the bottom knee. And then lower it down. Inhaling as you lift. Exhale as you lower. As you open and close that knee, your pelvis is still. If you feel your pelvis tipping backwards, don't want you to open it quite so far. You're going to work within the range that you're able to control. Gently opening and closing. The rest of the body is stable and it's still. We're going to do 2 more. Open, close, last one, and then pause. Hand can stay on the hip or come down on the mat in front, it's up to you. Stretch your top leg out long and straight and flex your foot for me. So your toes are pulled towards your nose. Your heel is in line with your hip. Lift your leg up towards the ceiling and then lower it down. So you're gently floating the leg up and you're lowering it down. Your leg is long. It's like you're trying to scrape your heel up the wall on the other side of the room. There's no movement through your pelvis. It's stable and still. It's like I've stuck a garden skewer right down through your pelvis and it's holding it nice and still. Your breath is matching your movement. It's always designed to help you. We're going to do 2 more. A little lift and lower and last one. And then rest the foot down for a second. If your hand's not already there, bring it down and put it on the mat in front of you. Stretch both legs out long and straight and just bring them slightly forwards in front of you. A little bit of weight into your hand, but not your whole body weight. Turn your top leg so your knee rotates to the ceiling. Take your toes from your ankle to your knee, kick your leg up nice and high, and then flex the foot to return the leg back down. So you're going ankle to knee, kick up high, flex the foot to bring the leg down, and just let it flow. Ankle to knee, kick up, flex on the way down. Nice big deep breaths. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. So you're opening up that hip joint. The rest of your body is stable and still. Your breath is matching your movement. Ankle to knee, kick up and lower it down. 2 more. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. Last one. Ankle to knee, kick up and lower the leg down. Let's change sides. So flipping yourself over. Careful as you move. Lie down on your other side for me. Rest your head in on your arm. That arm could be bent straight, it's up to you. Knees are bent, feet are tucked back in line with your hips. Chin's up off of your chest, so your gaze should be across the room. Hand comes on your hip. Push your hip away from you, create that little space. Little clams to begin with. Lift the top knee up off the bottom knee and then lower it down. As you open and close that knee, nice long breaths. As you open and close that knee, your pelvis is still. Try not to let that hip tip back. Work within the range that you're able to control. So if you feel the hip tipping backwards, I don't want you to open it quite so far. Nice long breaths to match your movement. Gently lifting and lowering. 2 more. Open and close. Last one. Okay, stretch the top leg out long and straight. Flex the foot. The toes are pulled towards your nose. Lift your leg up towards the ceiling and lower it down. Heel is trying to scrape up the wall on the other side of the room. So your leg is really long. Lengthen it right out for me. Nice long breaths. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. Rest of the body is nice and still, nice and controlled. Not lifting too high that you feel that hip moving. Last one. Lift. Lower the leg down, let it rest. Bring your hand down on the mat in front of you. A little bit of body weight into that hand, but not too much. Stretch the bottom leg out long and straight and just have them slightly in front. Turn your top leg so your knee rotates to the ceiling. Take your toes from your ankle to your knee. Kick your leg up nice and high and flex the foot to bring it down. Ankle to knee, kick high, flex the foot as you bring it down. So you're just opening up that hip joint. Slide the toes from your ankle to your knee, kick your leg high and flex the foot as you bring it down. Nice long breath. Ankle to knee, kick up, lower it down. Not too much pressure in those hands. Nice long breaths to match your movement. Kicking high, flexing the foot to bring the leg down. We've got 2 to go. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. Last one. Ankle to knee, kick up, lower the leg down. You're going to flip straight over onto your stomach. I'm just going to grab a sip of water. Going to come down into our goalpost position. So hands a bit wider than the mat. Shoulders are nice and relaxed away from your ears. Legs out nice and long, toes pointed away from you. Head's resting on the mat to begin with. There's no pressure in those arms of yours. You can feel your stomach muscles engaged. Got a nice long body. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe out to lift your face and your chest just gently up the mat. And then lower yourself all the way down. Inhale first, exhale up you come. Lengthen the crown of your head. Just coming to the bottom of your ribs to begin with for me. Just getting some movement in your spine in this manner. Arms are nice and relaxed. There's no pressure in those arms. And then lower down. We're going to do 2 more and we're going to add on. Inhale first, exhale up you come. And lower down. Last one. Inhale first, exhale up you come. And lower down. Okay, you've got some choices. You can keep your hands in this position or you can slide your fingertips in line with your shoulders. We're going to come higher up into some swans. Today I'm going to put my fingertips in line with my shoulders. If you're choosing that position, your elbows will be pointing towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, breathe out to come up through those ribs. When you get to the bottom rib, you're going to start to peel yourself up higher. Just to where it feels comfortable for you, and then pull and elongate yourself back down. Now you could just stick with the first move, otherwise you're moving into the second move. Inhale first, exhale up you come. So there's no pressure in those hands until you start to get past your bottom ribs. And then you're peeling yourself all the way down. I want you to feel like you're pushing the mat out from underneath you. So come to the bottom of your ribs, then start to feel like you're pushing the mat out from underneath you with your hands. And then reverse that. Feel like you're pulling the mat underneath you as you peel yourself all the way down, shoulders relaxed. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale first, exhale up you come. Just to that point that's comfortable for your body today, and then slowly peel yourself all the way down. Nice long breath. We've got one to go. Inhale first, shoulders relax, gentle push into those hands as you move past your ribs, and then slowly down. We're going to go into little child's pose stretch. So take your bottom back to your heels, arms in front if that's comfortable for you. If you prefer them by your side, put them by your side. Little gap between your knees, and just sink your hips back towards your heels. Breathe into the back of your ribs for me. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. We're going to do 2 more breath patterns here. Exhale. Last one for me, big deep breath in. Exhale out. You're going to come back down on your stomach and you're going to bring your arms forwards. You're going to rest one hand on top of the other and you're going to rest your head down on your arms. You could have your head turned sideways if that's more comfortable, otherwise your forehead is just resting on your arms. We're going to do some heel beats in a minute, okay? Shoulders away from ears, head resting on your hands, tummy muscles engaged, you feel the little lift of your belly button. You're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out to lift both legs up. You're going to start to tap your heels together. Tap, 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 tap. So nice and controlled, strong heel beats for me. Nice big deep breaths. You feel your inner thighs and your butt working. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Lower them down. Rest for a microsecond. Take a breath in, breathe out to float legs up. Away you go, start to tap your heels together. Nice strong heel beats. Tap, 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 tap. Nice and controlled. Keep your breathing going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and lower those legs down. Prop yourself up on your elbows now. One hand resting on top of the other. Gaze is out in front of your hands. Neck's nice and long, so you haven't dropped your head down. Look about a hand pace and a half in front. Little lift of your hips up off of the mat. So as opposed to hanging out watching telly, tummy muscles are switched on, you've got that little lift. Bend one knee, flex your foot, bring your foot to your bottom and pulse it twice. Lengthen that leg out long and lower. Changing sides, foot comes to bottom, pulse twice, lengthen long and lower. Alternate sides, foot bottom to bottom, pulse twice, lengthen and lower. Alternate sides, keep the gaze down on the other side of your mat, about that hand pace and a half in front. As your foot comes to your bottom, you're flexing, you're pulsing twice, and you're breathing. I'm going to do one more on each side. Foot to bottom, pulse twice, lengthen long and lower. Last one, and then rest. Little return back to child's pose. So, hips back, arms in front if you can. Relax into that. Breathe into those ribs again for me. Nice big deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more breath pattern. And then come forwards into quadruped. You're going to come down on your hands and knees. So wriggle yourself into position. If you prefer to have yourself on your knuckles, feel free to go on your knuckles. Otherwise, your hands are flat on the mat and your hands are in line with your shoulders. Little weight bearing. The weight bearing is on the little fingers, so you physically are able to lift your thumb up off of the mat. Gaze is out in front of you, about a hand pace and a half, nice and broad across your shoulders. There's a gap between your knees, so you've got a nice box sort of shape here, okay? Looking out in front of you, about a hand pace and a half, we're going to go straight into opposite arm and leg. So you're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to slide your opposite arm and leg along the mat. I want you to lift them out in front of you. I want you to bring your fingers and your toes back to the mat and slide underneath. Then change. Opposite arm and leg glide out. Lift them up. Bring them back to the mat. Glide underneath. So alternate sides in your own time. Breathe out as you take them out. Breathe in as you bring them back in. That breath pattern sets you up ready for the next one. Pelvis, torso is still. Particularly watch that stability as you bring your limbs back down. So take your time bringing your limbs back down. I don't want you to lose that stability on the return. Okay, one more on each side. Slide them out, lift them up, bring them down. Last one. Exhale out, lift and down. Pause here. We're going to do some same sides. You can stick with opposites if you like. Otherwise we're going to do 2 on each side. You do need to transfer your weight. You can even bring your hand slightly further into the center line of your mat. I'm going to transfer into my right side first. So I transfer my weight into my right arm and leg, and then I lift my left arm and leg at the same time. And then I bring them back down. And then I change. Transfer my weight into my left, take my right arm and leg out, and then bring them down. Back to the first side. Go back into opposite arm and leg if you prefer. And then bring them down. Last one. Glide them out. Bring them down. Whoa. Okay, cat and cow stretches. That's what happens when you think about the next exercise. You lose your balance. Okay, let your head drop down between your arms, arch your back right up towards the ceiling and open your spine for me. Now, allow your stomach to come down to the bottom of the mat, tuck your tailbone out behind you, take your gaze across your room. Head drops down between your arms, arch your back right up towards the ceiling, open up through that spine for me. And then your tummy comes down and your gaze goes across the room. We're going to do one more in each direction. Head drops between your arms, arch your back right up towards the ceiling and open up through your spine. And then lucky last, tummy comes down, gaze goes across the room. Relax yourself into a sitting position. You're going to sit down with your legs out long and straight for me. Once you're down, you're going to have your feet hip width distance apart. You're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to have your arms down by your side. You're going to gently bring your chin to your chest. We're going into spine stretch, a little scoop of the belly backwards, and then slide the arms forwards, curling your spine. Take a breath in there, breathe out to come all the way back up, sit up nice and tall. We're going to do 4 of these and then we're going to change the movement a bit. Inhale first, tuck the chin to the chest, round the spine backwards, breathe out as you curl forwards. Come all the way back up. 2 to go. Inhale first, gentle tuck of the chin, scoot the belly back a bit, slide your arms forwards, and then come all the way back up. Lucky last. Inhale first, tuck that chin to the chest, scoop the belly backwards, breathe out. Come all the way back up, pause at the top. Take your legs out to a little bit wider than your mat. Flex your feet, toes pulled towards your nose. Take your hands, bring them forwards and rest them in the front of your mat. And the next one, as you curl forwards, you're going to slide your hands along the mat down between your legs. You're going to come back up. We're going to do 4 of them. Then we're going to do 2 more and we're going to add a little pulse down there. Okay, so sit tall to begin with. Feet are flexed, hands just resting on the mat in between your legs. Tuck the chin to the chest, a little round of the spine backwards, and then slide your hands along the mat as you curl yourself forwards. You should feel a lovely stretch through your back. Then slide your hands back along the mat, sit up nice and tall. It's just a fingertip touch the hands. Inhale first, tuck the chin to the chest, scoot the belly back a bit, slide the hands forwards, bring that lovely stretch into your back. Then come all the way back up, 2 more like this, then we're going to add on. Inhale first, tuck the chin to the chest, scoot the belly, breathe out. All the way back up. And last one, chin to chest, little scoop of that belly, breathe out as you curl forwards, hands are just sliding on the mat towards your toes. Come back up again, a little pulse, you've got 2 to go. Inhale first, chin to chest, down you go. Breathe out, hold here, pulse your hands twice. Pulse once, pulse twice, slide back up. Last one, inhale first, chin to chest, exhale. Curl forwards, pulse once, pulse twice, come back up, pause. Slide your feet back into hip width, keep your feet flexed. Take your hands, bring them across your chest, sit up tall. Shoulders are relaxed but you're sitting tall. Find a spot on the wall on the opposite side of the room. Imagine you've got a black texture out, permanent black texture, and you have drawn a line around the room at that height. It's an imaginary line. You're going to follow your eyes with that line. We're going to start moving with our twist to the left. Take a breath in, breathe out to twist yourself to the left. Gaze is following your imaginary line. Come back through the center and twist to the right. Breathing. Inhale first, exhale to twist. Gaze follows that line. Come back through the center and twist to the right. So you're still sitting up nice and tall. There's a lovely gap between your ribs and your pelvis. You're twisting your body, but your feet are still. If you feel your feet moving, you're going to gently push down on the leg that you are twisting towards. Nice long breaths. We're going to do one more each way. Inhale, exhale, twist yourself around, following your vaginal line with your gaze, back through the center, last one to the other side. Back into the middle, pause, just lower your arms down. We're going to combo those two exercises and we're going to go into saw. With saw, you're trying to get your hand to your little toe to saw it off twice. When you curl forwards to do that, you're going to look towards your back hand. You're not curling so far forwards that your butt lifts. Okay, so you're trying to get that reach of up and over without lifting your hip up off of the mat. So I might do mine a little bit of a diagonal so you can see me better. So sit up tall, arms out towards the side. Your feet are out long in front of you and they're a little bit wider than your mat. We're going to go to the left first. Take a breath in, breathe out to twist towards the left. Take your little finger to your little toe, look to your backhand and saw your little toe off twice. Come up to the twist position, twist through the center and change the other side. Curl forwards, little finger to little toe, saw twice, come back up. Now you might be getting to your little toe. You're going to alternate sides. You might be getting to your calf. You're sawing twice, you're breathing, you're looking to the back hand as you saw. Your hips are stuck on the ground. So as you go forwards to do your saw, your butt's not lifting. Exhale, saw twice. Through the center and change over to the other side. Okay, we've got one more each way. Inhale, exhale, twist. Curl forwards, saw twice. Through the center. Last one to the other side. Curl forwards, saw twice. Back into the middle. Pause. Lower your arms down and just rest for a second. We're going to come into some roll like a balls. Your spines are nice and warm now. With your roll like a balls, there's a couple of choices for your hands. In a perfect world, you would have your hands wrapped around your shins. You can tuck them underneath your knees if you like. Just watch when you do your roll like a ball so you're not flicking with your legs too much. It will give you the ability to flick with your legs if your hands are tucked underneath your knees. But either of those positions are fine. Gaze. Look down to your pelvis. Sort of float yourself back so you're balancing on your sit bones and your feet are up over the mat. Now that may be where you want to be today. Just balancing. That might be enough for your body today. Otherwise you're going to come to your roll like balls. Shoulders relaxed. Look to your pelvis. Scoop your belly slightly backwards. Your breath is important here. You won't get back up if you don't breathe. So you're going to inhale to roll back. You're going to exhale, come back up and balance at the top. Little round ball. Inhale back. Exhale up, balance at the top. Keep looking towards your pelvis. You're going to roll in your own time. Watch you not flicking too much with your legs. I can feel my legs want to flick. Try to keep your heels close to your butt. Roll back up. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Try not to let them creep up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Pause at the top. We're going to do two more. Little roll back. Back up to the top. Last one. Inhale back. Exhale up. Pause at the top. Rest for a second. Feet coming down onto the mat. Knees stay bent. Take your feet probably 60 centimeters away from you. We're going to do some part rollbacks. I'm going to add on bit by bit as I go. You can choose the level and the depth that you want to. So sitting up tall, legs are glued together. Inner thigh engagement helps you switch your leg muscles on. Hands are resting on the outside of your legs. They're just going to slide up and down. So little tuck of the chin to the chest. Scoop your belly backwards and just roll down part way. Pause there, breathe in and breathe out to come back up. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale first, tuck of the chin to the chest, a little roll backwards. Pause there, breathe in, breathe out to come back up. So you can go a bit lower if you like, it'll be more challenging. You can choose, keep your legs tucked together. Chin to chest, roll back, pause, breathe in, breathe out to come back up. 2 more at that depth, whatever that depth is for you. Down you go. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe out to come back up. Last one. Down you go. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe out to come back up. Okay. We're going to add an arm movement when we're down there. You can stick with the first version. Otherwise, come with me. Take a breath in. Legs are glued together. Down you go. Pause there. Take your right arm out to the side. Let your gaze follow it. Bring your hand back to your thigh. Take your other arm out to the side. Gaze follows back to the side. Pause there. And then slowly come back up. I said right and I moved left. Oops. Let's do that again. Inhale first. Exhale, down you go. So lead with the opposite side now. Arm out to the side. Gaze follows. Bring it back. Change sides. You can do both. Bring it back. Pause. Slowly back up. We're going to do one more on each side. You can rest. You can stick with just the part roll down. It's fine. Otherwise, down you go. Pause. Arm out to the side. Gaze follows. Bring it back. Changing sides. Pause. Roll back up. Last one. Inhale first. Exhale, back you go. Pause. Arm to the side. Bring it back. Changing. Bring it back. Pause. Slowly up. Stretch your legs out long and straight. Have your heels just over the edge of your mat. Bring your arms out on the horizontal. We're going to roll down fully to the mat. Chin to chest. Down you go. Slowly all the way down. Take your arms right over the top of your head. Circle your arms around and bring them down by your side. Have your hands on the mat, on the floor, wider than your mat, sorry. Bend your knees and have your feet hip width distance apart. We can do side to side. So at any point you can bring your legs down onto the floor and keep going. Palms are down and arms are engaged into the floor. So you haven't jammed them into the floor, but you could feel that your back muscles have switched on because you pushed your arms gently into the floor. Shoulders are going to stay on the mat, okay? You're not going to go too far in this movement that you feel your shoulder wanting to lift. Float one leg to 90 degrees and hold it there. Take a breath in, bring your second leg to join it, glue your knees and feet together. Moving to the left side first. Take a breath in, breathe out, allow your knees and feet to go to the left. Your right hip will peel up off the mat, your shoulder stays. Pull yourself back through the centre slowly and change to the right. So you're going to alternate sides in your own time. Your knees are glued together. Try not to let those knees slide apart. Arms are still engaged into the floor. If you feel your shoulder lifting as you're going to the side, then don't quite go that far. Use your arms to help you. They're there to help you stabilise. Knees are glued together. It's like I wrap duct tape all the way around them. Nice long breaths to help you do the movement. We're going to do one more each way. So shoulders stay on the mat. Over you go, knees stay glued together. Last one to the other side. When you're back in the middle, pause. Lower one leg down. Lower your other leg down. Keep your knees and feet touching. Drop both of your knees to the left and take your gaze over your right shoulder. And just breathe. Breathe into the back of your ribs. Nice big deep breaths. Squeeze your knees together, pull them through the middle of the mat, and then take your gaze over your opposite shoulder as your knees drop to the right. Hang there, breathe. We're going to do 2 each way. Breathe into the bottom part of your ribs for me. Okay, pull the legs through the centre, drop them back to the first side. Gaze goes over your opposite shoulder. Nice big deep breaths, breathing in, breathing out. You get one more to the other side. Pull the knees through the centre, drop them to the other side. Take your gaze over your opposite shoulder. Hang there and breathe. Okay, pull your legs into the centre and rest. We're going to drop into a set of book openings. So if you can roll right onto your side, cradle your head in on your arm. Arms straight or bent, it's up to you. Knees are bent, feet tucked back in line with your hips. Top arm out on the floor in front of you. Hand in line with your shoulder. Knees are squeezed together. Today we're going to add an arm circle. So we're going to do 2 to the ceiling. Then we're going to do 2 with rotation. Then we're going to do we're going to do probably 3 or 4, we'll see, with a circle on the arm, okay? I'll walk you through that. Knees are staying glued together for all of them. Take a breath in, breathe out to bring your arm to the ceiling, let your gaze follow your hand, and then bring your hand back down to the floor. Inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, gaze follows the hand, and then bring the hand to the floor. Okay, rotation. Arm goes to the ceiling, rotate further back. Remember your knees are squeezed together. Lengthen your long arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. One more like that. Inhale first, exhale, arm goes to the ceiling. Move into rotation. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. Okay, we're going to move into those circles. Arm goes to the ceiling, rotate further back. Bring your arm down, turn your palm to the floor, circle your arm. Your palm is going to slide across the top of your thigh and bring it back to the front. So inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, gaze follows. Go as far as you can without your knees moving. As you start to circle your hand down towards your thigh, you turn your palm down, skims the top of your thigh and bring it back to the floor. 2 more. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Knees are still. Turn the palm down, skim the thigh as you circle the arm around and back to the floor. Lucky last. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Open through that chest, start to circle, palm comes down and bring it back to the floor. Okay, we're going to change sides. Bring yourself around. Again, I'm going to grab another sip of water. Down into your book opening position, knees bent, feet tucked back behind you, head's resting in on your arm. Knees are glued together, arm could be straight, you could have a pillow if you prefer, it's up to you. Top arm out on the floor in front of you, hand in line with your shoulder, knees squeezed together. Inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, gaze follows the hand, and then bring the hand back down to the floor. Going to go again. Inhale first, exhale, arm comes to the ceiling, just to the ceiling for the first 2, and back to the floor. Okay, we're going to go into rotation. We're going to do 2 of them. Arm comes to the ceiling, rotate further back. Remember your knees are not moving. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. We're going to go again. Inhale first, exhale, arm goes to the ceiling. Move into your rotation. Lengthen to the ceiling and back to the floor. Okay. Going to add that circle. Arm comes to the ceiling. Move into your rotation. Start to circle your arm down, your palm swivels down towards the floor, you skim the thigh, and you come back to the start position. Inhale first, exhale, arm goes up. Then you're going to circle, palm comes down, glide across the top of your hip, and back to the floor. 2 to go. Inhale first, exhale. Circle the arm down, bring it around, back to the floor. Lucky last, 1 to go. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Add that circle, palm comes down, back to the floor, and rest. We're going to roll back, we're going to go onto your back, roll onto your back. That was a really bad cue. Okay, knees are bent to begin with. Chin off of your chest, nice and relaxed. Stretch your right leg out along the mat, nice and long. Bring your left leg up to tabletop. Left hand goes out on the floor next to you, a little bit wider than the mat. Right hand comes on the outside of the knee. Gently pull the knee across the body. So you're just going to get that lovely stretch through your hip. Gently push your hand on your knee, not so much that you feel like your body's going to roll off of your mat, but just get that nice stretch through your hip. Big, deep breaths. Okay, you're going to untangle yourself out of that. You're going to bring your right leg up to tabletop. Left hand comes on the outside of the knee. Right hand's on the floor next to you. Gently pull the knee across your body, not so much that you feel your hip lifting. And breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, come back to the centre. Keep your right leg in tabletop, bring your left leg up to join it. Tuck your hands underneath your knees. We're going to roll up once. If you prefer to come up in a different manner, feel free to do so. Arms are long, hands gently tucked underneath your knees. Take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, push your feet away from you, and roll yourself up to a sitting position and just sit for a minute. And make sure you don't feel dizzy before we move. Right, I'm going to come up to a standing position. Slowly up to standing. I'm just going to get my roller out of the way. Standing with your feet hip width distance apart, standing nice and tall. Remember, to get there perfectly, you could have your feet together, your toes come apart, you lift your heels, you put your heels in line with your toes. That puts your feet in line with your hips. All right, hands are down by your side. We're going to do a standing mermaid. Gaze across the room on a spot on the wall, something that's not moving. Slide your arm down your side, but keep looking at that spot. And then come back up. We're going to change. Slide your arm down, gaze to your spot, and back up you come. So as you slide your arm down by your side, you should feel a stretch through your side. Come back up, and over to the other side. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more each way. Hand slides down the side. You're still looking at the spot. The gaze is important. Through the centre, over to the other side. Okay, we've got 1 more each way. Inhale, exhale, hand slides down. Keep looking at your spot. Last one through the centre. Pause. Take your hand to the top of your arm and give it a little massage. So you're going to use your fingers and your thumb to massage the top of your arm. It's a gentle squeeze. You're not hurting yourself. You're going to work your way around your arm, the front and the back. It's a gentle squeeze. You're going to work your way down towards your elbow. Little massage. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you do want to massage. Down into your elbow. And then work your way down through your forearm. Little massage, using your fingers and your thumb to give it some love. Working your way down towards your wrist joint. And then finally, into the palm of your hand. Squeezing with your fingers and your thumb. Take your hand back to the top of that same arm. With your fingers, lightly brush that arm 5 times. So it's a lovely little gentle fingertip touch. I feel a bit of pins and needles or tingling in your fingers. That's perfectly normal. Got 1 to go. Then what you're going to do is let both arms drop down by your side, and you're going to feel the difference between your arms. One might feel longer, shoulder feels nice and relaxed, you've got some length into that arm. Let's do the other side. So hands to the top, little massage, squeezing front and back, not hurting yourself, but you are massaging that arm, just getting some mobility. It's a little bit like, what's this the same as what you do with your foam roller. You're massaging the muscle, you're massaging the fascia, you're just using your hand to do it. Work your way down, come down towards the elbow, into that forearm, again, little squeeze, front and back, give it a massage. You might know that one forearm feels much tighter than the other. Work your way down towards the wrist joint, then into the palm, and then drop your arm down by your side. Take your fingers to the top. You've got 5 fingertip brushes, nice and gentle, top to bottom. Might feel a bit of tingling. 2 to go. Last one. And then let your arms hang down by your side. You now have ragdoll arms. We're going to roll up and down. We're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Roll down. Let those ragdoll arms of yours just hang. Breathe out as you go down. Pause there. Take a breath in. Lead with your tailbone. Tuck your tailbone under, scoot through your belly, and slowly roll back up. And when you get to the top, stand tall. Make sure you don't feel dizzy. Inhale. Tuck the chin to the chest. Down you go. A little bit more weight through the front of your feet, so you almost feel like you might topple forwards. Arms are nice and relaxed. Pause at the bottom. Breathe in. Lead with the tailbone. The tailbone tucks. Scoot through the belly. Slowly roll yourself back up. Each time I want you to check that you're not feeling dizzy or lightheaded. If you are, stay standing upright. Chin to chest. Down you go. Let all the air out of your lungs. Make room for clean air for me. Nice and relaxed through those ragdoll arms. Pause there. Inhale. Lead with the tailbone. Scoop your tummy muscles. Use your abdominal muscles to roll your spine back up. We're going to do 2 more. The last one, we're going to hang out down there. Tuck the chin to the chest. Scoop of the belly. Breathe out as you roll yourself all the way down. Pause at the bottom. Take an inhale. Exhale, back up you come. And the last time we're going to hang out down there. If that might make you feel dizzy or lightheaded, I don't want you to hang out down there. Otherwise, come with me, down you go. Okay, once you're down there, I want you to take hold of your elbows with the opposite hand. Okay, so you're sort of holding onto your elbows. And just a gentle pull on those elbows to stretch through those arms. Your gaze should be down between your thighs. Your eyes are open. Okay, let go of those elbows. Take a breath in and breathe out to roll yourself back up and just stand nice and tall. You can feel a little bit lightheaded from that. Okay, find a spot on the wall, look across your room and focus your eyes on something that is fixed and not moving. Then gently come up onto your tippy toes and slowly lower your heels. Okay, gently up onto your tippy toes and slowly lower your heels. Onto your tippy toes and lower. Pause there. Bring your heels together, keep your toes apart, so get a little Pilates V. Come up onto your tippy toes. And I want you to lower both heels at the same time. Give you a bit of feedback as to whether one's going quicker than the other. Onto your tippy toes. Lower both heels. Okay, 2 to go. Onto your tippy toes. Lower both heels. Last one. Onto your tippy toes. Lower both heels. Swivel those heels back into hip width. We're going to add a little stretch of the arms. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, come onto your tippy toes, arms out to the side, up to the ceiling. Lengthen your arms and slowly lower your heels. Use your breath. Inhale first, exhale out you go. Slowly lower the heels. We've got 1 to go. Breathing in. Breathe out to come up. Lengthen those arms. Reach as high as you possibly can onto those tippy toes. And slowly lower those heels. You're going to do a roll of your shoulders. You're going to roll your shoulders in one direction. Then you're going to roll them in the other direction. You're going to drop your arms down by your side. You're going to keep your shoulders well away from your ears. Your job is to keep them away from the ears for the rest of your day. You have this class again for 7 days. Feel free to use it as many times as you like. If you have any queries or concerns, you know how to get in touch with me. Enjoy the class. Any requests, let me know. Look after your bodies, and I will see you all soon. Enjoy. Thanks, team. Bye now.